Shall I grab a pen?
Yes, please.
Just going to grab a pen at the start of the podcast.
This free one that I stole is not working.
Very, very professional. We like this.
That's what you get for stealing pens.
Right.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's what I think about Donald Trump.
Oh, thank you, Peter Sellers. Right. Popcorn Pundits.
That was the most musical one of those we've done.
Almost.
Almost.
When we play it back, we'll decide how musical it really was.
Well, it was an attempt at the most musical one.
I think so, yeah.
I was just going to say, it's a very musical week.
It is, yeah, and also a very,
a
very retro week as well.
Retro week?
Very retro week.
What, you're
we're
talking
talking
about
60s, talking 70s.
Oh, okay.
You see where I'm coming from? You know, retro bio week.
It's
or bio retro week.
It's also week 65.
There you go. This is the Popcorn Pundits, and this is our trio of cinema lovers. PT, Nikki, and Jamesy are here to save you.
That almost sounded scripted.
It did,
that
didn't
bit,
it?
It was a little bit too much. I don't think people are going to like that. Well, so, are you just talking about again? One? Yeah, I'm confused about your decades thing.
Right.
Because we watched a couple of. Oh, I watched a couple of films. You went to the cinema every day.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
So the films that we're reviewing tonight, we're going to be. So over the next hour, you're going to be sort of filled with joy where Peter's giving us the top 10 of what's going on in the UK.
Yes.
Peter and I are going to be talking about films we've seen at the cinema, which are going to include the 1960s bio Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
The massively successful Mr. Robert Zimmerman. You've got Saturday Night, which is obviously the first night of Saturday Night Live on NBC.
I'd forgotten that you'd seen other films.
Exactly.
You see, I was just thinking about me.
And and the whole of the Pundits listeners are going, really? Obviously, we've got...
If you want to write a comment or chip in and defend me in any way, shape or form, that'd be nice.
And then you've got the likes of Wolfman, and then we've got Kneecap, and then we've got Your Homework, and so on and so forth. So we've got a lot to get through. No messing around tonight.
We're going to plough on through.
We're just going to plough on through. Crack on with your top 10, Unger.
Number 10, A Real Pain.
We reviewed that last week.
Yes, we did. We liked it. A Real Pain.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And number 9, I've forgotten about it already. I can't even remember what it was. What was it?
God.
It was the two brothers who, hadn't they got their grandmother's inheritance or something?
Right.
Oh, it's brilliant!
Welcome to the Popcorn Pundits.
We know what we're talking about.
Utterly professional and with a massive memory.
Number 9, Wicked. I did tell you my memory.
Have you seen this?
I haven't got a clue what it is. It's
Wicked.
Number 8, Moana 2.
Haven't seen it yet.
No, you said you were going to see that.
No, I didn't.
Number 7, Wolfman. You did go and see that.
I did go and see that.
Okay. This has got vibes of American Werewolf in London, hasn't it?
I will report back to you on that.
Okay. Number 6, Baby Girl.
Haven't seen it yet, and I'm still really uncertain about how.
Because now you've gone all frowny faced.
I know.
So let's go and see it together.
Aww.
Yeah.
This is
go on
the
then.
Nicole Kidman one.
It is.
And a boy.
Yeah.
And a boy.
I've got
And
a vision of her pretending she's a table and her, eating his dinner off her back, and I'm just going to
Or
feel.
her front. She's quite yogic.
No, she's not. She's doing a cat and cow.
Oh, you've seen it, have you?
I've seen a bit of footage there. Okay. Cat and cow.
Don't worry about stuff like that.
Not a tabletop.
That's all right.
Anyway.
Number 5.
Yes.
We Live in Time. We need to go and see that too.
This is the Andrew Garfield Florence Pugh.
Yeah, she gets a haircut, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah, she does get a haircut.
The whole film, that's the film.
Jesus. Number 4.
That's what I took from that film.
Nosferatu.
Yes, which we both went to see.
Yes, we did. And you think it's a future classic.
It is a future classic. Even
in your house.
Even with your air inverted commas, it's still a future classic. Carry on.
It's not.
Oh, it's Peter's favourite thing next.
It is. At number 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yes, indeed.
They play 3s.
Yes.
Yeah, it just makes me so happy. So, I don't have a review, but my family went to see it and they said it was fucking amazing.
I've heard it is very good. Are we expecting a review from them at all?
Oh no, they don't listen. Number 2, Mufasa, The Lion King.
2.
No, that's like
Is it? It's
That'll
minus
be
2.
well, it's like the 5th or 6th Lion King film.
Oh, is it?
But
It's
that's
a prequel. Yes.
So technically, it's like -1.
One of you two said prequel, which I kind of
It was
liked.
definitely me.
Yeah, I think it was.
Prequel. It could have been me.
Okay, so I need to get something in a minute. I need a finger on hand. Number 1, the film that we both went to see this week at the cinema, A Complete Unknown.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet.
That's a pretty good first weekend total, isn't it? 2.6 million.
All those crusties
When did
out
you go
there.
and see it?
I went to see it on, I think it was it Saturday night? Or Friday night? It was Saturday or Friday night. It might have been Sunday night. It was Sunday night.
And I'm the one with a bad memory.
It was Sunday night. No, because I went to see Wolfman on Friday night, stayed in to watch Alien Romulus on Saturday night, the new improved with the better CGI, and then we saw.
They changed the ending?
Yeah, no, they changed. They've changed
the character.
The robot from Alien 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've changed his CGI slightly to make him look
More realistic.
less like a CGI character and more like a robot, and it worked really, really well.
But the ending's the same.
Ending's the same. He's a basketball player.
Who, which what?
The alien in at the end of Alien Romulus. He's a basketball.
What, in real life?
Yeah,
that alien? I'm not surprised.
And
he's got really long legs and arms.
He's literally 6'9" or something.
Right,
He's like gigantic.
That's not massive for a basketball player.
And Nikki's going to find the exact height for this by the end of this podcast. Height of basketball player in Alien Romulus.
But she's on my Apple Watch today, so it might take a bit of time to find
Anyway.
it.
I'm doing it on my phone because it's quicker.
I was going to say something about...
Sunday night.
I went to see it at 1 o'clock on Monday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
There wasn't a spare seat in the cinema.
It was quite full on Sunday night.
At 1
as well.
o'clock on a
Good.
Monday.
That's good, isn't it? And I went last night to see a preview of Saturday night, and it was very sparse.
Some things just popped into my head, and I think I might be really stupid. I think the Everyman might do like a seniors thing on a Monday, because I was also the youngest person in the cinema by at least 5 years.
At least 5
At
years.
least 5 years.
You're giving
But I
yourself
think
some grace.
maybe they do, because I think maybe they do a...
Did they offer you a discount?
I think they do like half price oldies or something.
Okay, right.
Because the only drink being consumed was a cup of tea.
Oh, nice.
And a biscuit.
Oh, great. Should we crack on?
I thought we'd finished. I thought that was
the alien he is Romanian. He's 24 years old. Robert Bobrzewski.
Yes.
He's 2.31 metres.
Can we... hey, Siri.
I'm just doing
What's
it
2.31 metres in
7
feet?
7 feet and 6.9 inches.
Jesus Christ.
This is what I'm saying. 6'9" is not tall in the world of basketball.
In me, 6 foot's tall for me.
You can blow them standing up.
5'8".
So there's your top 10 from 10 down to number 1.
Paddington.
Yes, indeedy. Right, so we're going to be highlighting a couple of films that we have seen in the top 10. If you've seen it in a film that we're not highlighting this week, please get in contact with us. As viewers and listeners, we're encouraging you to be interactive with this podcast.
Excellent.
That was actually quite good.
It was weird, wasn't it?
I was quite scared.
I know. Let's crack on before we go
This
downhill.
has got a weird feeling today, almost like it's like silky smooth and...
I know, it's quite scary, isn't it?
I'm on a mildly self-destructive mode as well, so just beware.
We can tell.
How do you feel?
Just like...
Okay, which one are we starting
Talking about...
with?
Let's start with
And
Wolfman.
how do you feel? Oh, let's start. Yeah, it's all about you, innit? Okay, let's just get yours out of the way.
Anyway, should we ask the producer what order we'd like the film to be portrayed in?
Which ones did you both see? Just...
We went to see Complete Unknown.
Okay, well, we'll finish with that one.
All right. Okay then. So, Wolfman.
James gets what he wants again. Right?
No, saving the best till last, Peter. That means you can go last.
Note taken.
Saving the best
Wolfman,
till
which is
last.
number 7 in the chart. Now, the Wolf. So, I presume you have not seen this film, Peter.
No, I saw a very short trailer, and that's all I've seen.
Okay. So, as per normal, when I watch a trailer, traditionally, I like to think I'm a fairly good judge of character when it comes to watching trailers and what's going to happen in the film later on.
Yeah.
Watching the trailer, it told me exactly what I was going to see in this film, and I wasn't wrong. Disappointed is the wrong word, but I wasn't wrong about what's going on in this film. So the Wolfman story has been told many times. Obviously, most famously by the likes of Oliver Reed back in the original Wolfman 1960s. And then we go back up to 1980s where you've got the fabulous American Werewolf in London. So you've got a director from Thriller that's in it, and you've got that mixture of humour but also groundbreaking special effects with no CGI at all. And then you move on to the Howling, which has no humour at all but still has groundbreaking special effects and also mixes the whole genre up with television viewers and so on and so forth. Then obviously later on down in the late 1990s, it went off to boil again with Jack Nicholson playing Wolf.
Yeah.
And he ended up basically doing all of his acting on a trampoline, jumping from one scene to another. And the only decent part in that Jack Nicholson movie was
the credits.
It was when he was marking his territory, when he was in the toilets in the office, and he's basically weeing on other businessmen, marking his territory. And Jack Nicholson did his eyebrow thing, which is very amusing. So I was quite intrigued when this Wolfman was first put on paper, and this has been 10 years and coming in being made, and I was really happy with the casting.
So why?
What?
Why is it taking 10 years to make it?
Because that's when it first started coming together.
Oh,
initially.
really?
Yeah, for the last 10 years. Because don't forget, this obviously stems from the dark universe that they were trying to do with Tom Cruise playing the Mummy. And then once he made that movie, the whole thing went off the scales. Because they were going to do the Mummy, they were going to do Wolfman, they were going to do Dracula, and they were going to do all of the different... and obviously, Russell Crowe was going to play Jekyll and Hyde, and you saw a little snippet of him in the Mummy movie. But Tom Cruise basically ruined it because he turned the Mummy movie into a Tom Cruise movie rather than a Mummy movie.
Okay.
And Johnny Depp was going to play the Invisible Man as well.
Anybody could have done that.
Exactly. Ooh, who is he? so that's where the initial screenwriting first started happening for the Wolfman. That's the reason why it's taken so long.
Oh, okay.
And so it went up and down.
It's almost like you're a film reviewer.
It's almost as if thank you very much. Now, when he was first cast as the female road, the role in Wolfman, you're just checking, aren't you? Yeah. In female role, he's doing really well. I don't want to mess this up.
Can you imagine if that didn't get recorded?
I can, because it's happened many times before. The female lead in this film is played by the incredible female actor, which I can't remember her name now. Blonde. She's from Ozark. Very gritty.
Right, yeah, she's brilliant.
Yeah, she's got a gutter sort of acting ability and
Brillo pad hair.
Yeah, but she takes no prisoners at all.
Ramen noodles.
Exactly, right on top of her head.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the film starts. And I do like a good start to a movie where it starts with a movie where you have intense cinematographic sort of footage of insects fighting each other, and you think to yourself, and the noise is really loud and it's quite foreboding and it's quite sinister. And I'm thinking to myself, actually, I might be wrong. This might be a good movie. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh.
So then it pans to young male actor with his dad in a cabin in the middle of the woods, and it's very obvious that this woods is not a nice woods. There's lots of creepy noises from the woods. The father's a little bit deranged. The son is going, what's going on, Dad, etc., etc., etc. And then the father disappears. Okay, and then it shoots back to modern time where this young lad is now living in the city. Okay, and they jump straight in and they go, okay, well, your father's been disappeared for so many decades now. He's now been officially been diagnosed as being dead because we can't find his body, and so the paperwork comes through, and now you own the house. So the whole thing goes full ground.
The cabin wood. The woods.
Exactly. So the cabin of woods is now his, and he then turns around to his family and goes, haven't been there for decades. Dad's disappeared. He didn't mention anything about the forest making strange noises, but he turned around and said, "Let's go to the woods as a family. Let's go to Dad's old place as a family, and we'll be able to have a look."
Was this the moment you started hating this?
Yes. So they go to the woods, and they do that, and like every single movie now that rips that's featured in the woods, they rip off the Stanley Kubrick footage of the overtop with the they all do that now, which is fine. And it's a nice little homage, and you let it go. So they turn up in the cabin in the woods, and it's blatantly as it is. It hasn't been used for decades. There's no electricity. The windows all smashed through. He couldn't even find the cabin in the woods initially. He had to ask for directions. And as soon as they arrive, you just know it's all going to kick off, because as soon as they're on the way there, something jumps out in front of the car. You see, and that said something then attacks the family. They jump in the car, but they seem okay. The dad is slightly hurt. They get to the cabin in the woods, and it all starts kicking off in a very werewolfy sort of way.
Got ya.
And within moments, he starts changing. Teeth start falling out. But even during this whole process, the family, the wife and the I think it's the daughter, at one point they turn around and go, "We're out of here." They turn around and go, "Oh, Dad's not well. Let's see what's happening to him." You know, and because what they try to do is they try to portray the Wolfman metamorphosis in a very similar way to that they portrayed Nosferatu being a giver of plague. What they've tried to do is they've tried to insinuate that Wolfman is a disease rather than, and it's passed over from Wolfman to Wolfman, but it's more of a disease rather than a mystical thing going on there. Which sadly it doesn't work very well at all.
It's always like the zombie contagion type of thing.
100%, yeah, exactly. But obviously the Wolfman sort of transformation is done over one. It's done very slowly over one night. It's never done. You never get the sign of a full moon as well, which bared me as well slightly. You want a full moon when you see when you see a Wolfman.
Yeah, that's what they're all about.
Exactly. There's no mystic there. There's no references to lunar or moons or anything else at all. This film promises a lot and gives very, very little.
It's a howler.
There's lots of growling, but there's no bite. You see the way that?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. Yeah. We all left the cinema incredibly disappointed, and it's very rare I say this, but I am saying to people, I don't think this is worth watching at the cinema.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
It's very rare I say this.
This has got to begin with a 3.
Okay.
Even that.
I'm giving it a 3.5.
Ooh.
Okay. I mean, I really was very upset with Jack Nicholson's Wolf, and Wolf is better than this.
Wow.
That's how upset I am with this.
God, you were really upset.
I wasn't happy with it at all.
Yeah. Wowzers.
So I
mean, so I only saw the trailer, and I presumed it was going to be a isolated cabin horror. Which you're right, there are fucking loads of them now.
Yeah, there is, and I don't mind them. If they're done well, Cabin in the Woods is one of my favourite movies.
What's that about?
Let me guess. It's actually very. You've seen it?
Nope.
Oh.
My homework.
Yes, we've just swapped your homework.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, 3.5.
No, do.
Yeah, Miracle Werewolf in London. If you want to see a werewolf movie, watch Miracle Werewolf in London.
Well, I don't think it's going to challenge our top 10 for long, is it?
No, it'll be out straight away. Okay, so let's move on to Saturday night, shall we?
Are we not getting facts? We're just moving through the podcast.
Yep. Go on, give me some facts. Sorry, producer.
It's a 6 on IMDb.
Yeah.
And initially in 2021, Ryan Gosling was set to star in this.
Yeah, I heard.
And Derek Kane-France to
Really?
direct the movie.
Okay.
And this was going to be their third collaboration together. But 2 years later, both of them left the project, though Gosling still serves as executive producer. And Lee Hwanell, who's the now director, before the involvement of Gosling and the other guy whose name I can't pronounce, it was that initially left the project, re-entering the project as director and writer, with Christopher Abbott replacing Gosling as the main star.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same director as Invisible Man. So you think to yourself, okay, and I like the way they portrayed Invisible Man in a home invasion, sort of domestic violence sort of scenario. And that was done very, very cleverly. But this is not clever, it's not funny, it's not scary, it's just dull.
Vocal distortion to convey Blake's diminishing ability to understand the human language was done by layering the dialogue on top of it in reverse.
I have to say that's the only good bit in the movie. At one point, you see the point of view of the actor turning into a werewolf, and when humans are talking to him, all you can see is their eyes are lit up, and it's in a very sort of neon sort of way. And I think that was quite a clever way of doing things.
And one final fact: Blake and Charlotte's daughter's name is Ginger.
Ginger Snaps,
Yeah,
which is another werewolf movie as well.
It's in reference to the Ginger Snaps series,
which is a very clever werewolf depiction of the females and their change through their age.
Okay.
Yeah, which is very clever. Anyway, so that's our Wolfman, isn't it?
That is.
Go good watch. Okay, there you go.
Excellent.
Thanks for that, Peter.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, it's been an hour.
Yes, indeed.
Do we want to do a complete unknown so we can let Peter do a bit of talking?
Yeah, let's do.
Oh, shall we?
And,
go
or do you want to end on that?
No, let's do complete on that.
I don't know. Peter looks quite chill and
Oh
happy
no,
to...
I'm just happy to listen. This is quite interesting.
Okay, let's
Complete-
do Saturday
I
night
haven't listened
then.
to your
Let's do
podcast in
Saturday.
ages.
Let's do Saturday night. Saturday night. Saturday night, based in 1975.
I get it. Decades. Brilliant.
Thank you. 1975. It's the run up to the NBC Saturday night comedy show, and this is before it was called Saturday Night Live, I was very excited about this film when it was first advertised because I like my John Belushi, I like my Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like that sort of thing? I'm personally not overly familiar with the Saturday Night Live setup. You see snippets of it on television, but I've never really sat down and watched it from start to finish because I find that the American politics aspect of it just washes over me completely, and I don't find some of it funny, unfortunately. So I'm only there for the stars, really, and so that's what I was looking for the film. I was looking for Dan Aykroyd, I was looking for Chevy Chase, and I got those. And the way that they are depicted in this film is very, very good. I mean, I didn't realise Chevy Chase was so sexy in the 1970s.
Oh, nor did I.
Oh yeah, he's a looker. The ladies liked him. Oh yeah, and both him and Dan Aykroyd are both mountains of men as well. They're very, very tall gentlemen compared to everybody else. I mean, especially compared to John Belushi, who's a little bumblebee of a man.
He's 6'9", apparently.
Very short.
Yeah, exactly. So the way that this movie is set up, the best way that I could describe this movie is Birdman. That's the best. You've obviously seen Birdman.
I have obviously.
You've obviously seen Birdman. Any friend of mine's seen Birdman. And the best way I could describe Birdman is basically is a jazz trio falling down the stairs continuously. And you're waiting for it to collapse, to fall at the bottom, but the stress gets more and more and more and more. That's exactly the same with Saturday Night. So if you didn't want to watch this because you knew it was going to be stressy, and it is, it's basically stress levels go higher and higher and higher as the movie goes along, because it's very clever. Because what they do is they set this movie up as if it's a very, very first screening, first live screening of this Saturday Night Live, or Saturday Night. So they have no idea what they're doing because they have no script. They have just a bunch of live television sketches. They've got some live music, and they've also got some fake adverts that they're going to slip in between the other adverts because they're just naughty like that, because that's the type of people they are. And obviously they've got the television executives there looking over them, played beautifully by Willem Dafoe. And they are truly expecting because obviously during the whole film they are told continuously that Willem Dafoe character has the ability to be able to say, it's not going to be live, I'm just going to play a rerun of Johnny Carson. If I don't feel comfortable with what you doing this, I'm just going to play Johnny Carson, and that's it, game over type thing. So the stress levels get more and more and more, and what's beautiful, they have a stagehand or a runner or whatever they're called, and he's running around the studios continuously shouting at how much time they've got left of before it goes live. So you're reminded continuously during the movie, and it's an hour and a half, so you know as a viewer you've got an hour and a half left of watching this film. As the film goes on and on, the time goes up.
Is it like a continuous
It's
thing?
like a continuous, goes further down, and you're basically, very similar to Birdman, you're following the director all the way through this role, all the way through. Ever so often you see snippets of other characters, like when John Belushi does a run and goes ice skating and they really extend the reality of how time works, because obviously at one moment it's like, because obviously the very first screening of Saturday Night Live goes out at 11:30 on a Saturday night. And at one point it's 11:20, and the lead character still goes to the pub and finds another screenwriter and chats with him, employs him, and then brings him back. And the time is clicking away, but adds. You have to put aside that level of reality and be embraced by the romanticism of the story. It's very stressy, it's very shouty, it's exactly how you'd expect. It's chaotic, it's very, very colourful, and yet again there's lots of characters I didn't recognise. and but yet again, I really enjoyed the depictions of all the characters, and Jay Simmons, not my tempo. He's in it.
Oh yeah.
He's in it, and he plays a seasoned game show hosty type character from the old school, and they're all mocking the new school because obviously the old school are successful.
Yeah.
They're incredible. You know, they're established and so on and so forth. And at one point, Chevy Chase's girlfriend has been chatted up by Simmons, and he gets his member out, and it's massive, and everybody stops. And the girlfriend walks off with him rather than a Chevy Chase. So there's lovely little snippets like that. It's clever. It's fast paced. I think you'd have to watch it 2 or 3 times to get all of the jokes. If you don't recognise all of the characters, you don't need to. And yeah, it's very well done. I really enjoyed it.
Ah, good.
Really enjoyed it, and to see the backgrounds of how the show's put together, and the fact that at one point they had like a 6-hour show, and they had to dilute it down to a 1-hour show by cutting everybody's skits down to 2 minutes instead of 4 minutes, and so on and so forth, and the fights in between each scenes, and the John Belushi, and so yeah, it's done very well. And if you like Birdman, I think you should definitely watch it.
Okay, cool.
There you go. I'm giving it a 7.8.
Ooh.
So, and the references I'm giving you is obviously Birdman, Whiplash, and Mo Better Blues.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a jazz fantastic Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, and John Belushi sandwich. That's what it is.
Wowzers. You've been a busy boy this
I've been
week,
a busy,
haven't you?
busy boy.
It is 7 on IMDb.
Okay.
So not too bad. It's already got 8 wins and 34 nominations. In the
Not in Chainsaw though.
no, unfortunately there is no Chainsaw Award
Yet.
Dan Aykroyd was the only original SNL cast member who read the script.
Was he?
Apparently so.
Right.
And
The others are dead.
Yeah.
due to feedback from eagle-eyed test audiences, CGI was used to correct the time displayed on the clocks in the backgrounds of several scenes.
Yeah, it would surprise me because the time was
That's
going
probably
so
what happened in that scene as
exactly.
well.
Time was going so fast, and it was just they're really extending boundaries of reality. Anything else for me?
What else? John Batiste recorded the score to the film live on set.
Nice.
Chevy Chase gets tapped on the shoulder as a possible replacement for John Carson.
That's right. Yes.
He did guest host the Tonight Show in the 80s, and in 1993 he hosted the Late Night Show for Fox, which was cancelled after 6 weeks.
Huh, interesting.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you very much. So yes, that's Saturday. So we've got 2 more films that we have both.
Saturday night.
There's 2 more films that we've both seen. We've got Kneecap and we've got A Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
Nikki, which one would you like us to do first?
Well, I think The Complete Unknown, because wasn't that the cinema, and then
That's
we'll
correct.
do Kneecap.
All right, good. Over to
I'm
you.
feeling a bit soporific now.
Hi, Peter.
Hi.
How are you?
A bit sleepy.
Would you
Quite
like?
enjoyed that.
Would you like to kick off with a story plot of The Complete Unknown?
Oh, it's about Bob Dylan.
It is about Robbie Zimmerman.
Robbie Zimmerman. I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
we've seen the trailers for this
Yes.
for months and months and months, and I don't always get the trailer reading right when I see a films, and I was just like, I don't know that I need to see Timothée Chalamet in yet another role so soon after everything else we've seen him in.
That's a fair comment.
We've seen him in a lot.
We've seen him in a
He's
lot.
been exceptional.
You've seen
in-
Meeting Bones.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've seen him in a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Homework and cinema and everything.
Exactly.
And I went to see this on Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock.
I mean, I agree with you completely because it's almost like, oh, not another Timothée Chalamet movie. What else can he do? Type thing.
Well, I mean, you just forget that it's Timothée Chalamet
Straight away.
within like seconds.
Straight away.
Yeah, it's just literally, I was just like, oh wow, he looks just like Bob Dylan. And then from that point on,
Yeah.
he's just Bob Dylan.
He is.
So this is basically the story of the entire musical history of Bob Dylan's life. He comes to New
Yeah.
York, and they don't really say where he comes from, do they? So he's
No.
he's 18 or 19 years old.
That's right.
He basically comes to...
But that's his whole thing, isn't it? Because he's shrouded in mystery.
Shrouded in mystery, exactly right. And I didn't know I'm not a big Dylan fan. I mean, I know some of his bangers, but not much more than that.
Okay.
So basically, this is Bob Dylan comes to New York, and he comes to New York to see a guy called Willie Guthrie, who is like a musical icon of his, and is a folk musician. And he comes to find him. He's in hospital because he's got some disease, and he turns up at the hospital, and he's got Willie Guthrie has a friend of his there who is Pete Seeger, who's played by Edward Norton, who is imperious in this. I mean, he's absolutely incredible.
I think it's probably Edward Norton's most wise role ever.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Yes.
Interesting.
Anyway, so Bob is chatting with the two of them, and Woody can barely speak. He's got very, very little communication.
It's quite a non-verbal role for him, isn't it?
Anyway, so Pete Seeger asks Dylan to sing him a song.
Gives a ditty.
And he's written a song which was for Woody Guthrie, and he sings it, and you can just see that Pete Seeger...
Well, both of them.
Basically just fall in love with this track and Bob there and then.
And to be fair, I'm not being funny, I think for people who hadn't seen Bob Dylan or knew anything about Bob, that first track was a fantastic introduction to his skill set.
Oh, I mean, it's mesmerising, and it's complete as well. I mean, it's like the whole song sung by Timothy Chalamet from start
guitar
to finish.
Harmonica.
It's sensational. It's absolutely sensational. And at that point, I was just like, and
I'm in.
Relax. We're going to be enjoying this. It's going to be good. Anyway, so Pete Seeger allegedly, and his thing was that he was a huge folk singer and was part of a movement to try and keep folk music relevant at that time because the rock and roll was coming in, and there was a folk society
bloody
group.
Buddy Holly coming over here.
Yeah, and the Beatles in their jingle jangles and all that type of stuff. And there was an associated tour to this folk group, and basically they got Dylan to record tracks and sing at
to champion
open mics.
Yeah.
Basically to champion the folk music movement. And
he's like their poster boy.
Yeah, and to start with, he was kind of quite compliant and kind of did that. And then the Dylan in Dylan takes over, and I was trying to trying to describe how this film made me feel, and the way it makes me feel is that Dylan is portrayed and seems to be a man who can portray and write songs about mankind, yet is very separated from men, very separated from men.
Yeah.
And he's when you get this kind of artistic genius, you follow this journey of absolutely amazing songwriting that he sees people as being jealous of.
Yeah.
And he's such an amazing creative that he ends up isolating people that he once revered because they basically can't keep up with him. No. And the churn and the quality of songwriting, and every time there's like a new development or a new era in his life, he performs a track from that next era of his life, and you sit there still in your seat with the hairs on your back of your neck standing on end, just like, oh my God, this is like... This is moving from one. I
mean, it's beautiful. The poetic license of the choice of tracks. The score was developed so well. I mean, completely out of sync of how it was really produced. To be fair, but they chose each track to be poignant to the scene.
To the scene in the
movie,
which
worked really well.
And I was wondering whether you would pick this up in terms of the timeline of.
They were playing around with what album it came from, but they were cherry picking. Not just bangers, but they were cherry picking the tracks that would be 100% that would point us to that exact scene.
Yeah, because I don't mean the crowd pleasers when I say bangers, because that's the absolute opposite of what this film is trying to say. So basically, Dylan is performing at these folk festivals and concerts, he meets what is her name? Her name is Sylvie Russo.
That's right.
And she's kind of a really nice, down to earth character.
She is.
She's pretty enough and she's smart enough.
Redhead.
But you're right up your right up your Strasser. But she's not the prettiest girl in the room, and she's not the smartest girl in the room. But Dylan has a real connection and a real bond with her, and it feels like a real honest relationship. But unfortunately, she's like the gun fodder in this film, isn't she? Really, because the mega creative personality and the mega attraction that Dylan has to everyone else on the planet means that she can't be anything else other than shrapnel, even though you kind of leave the cinema feeling that actually he really wanted her to be his muse, but almost kind of couldn't be. It's almost like circumstance split them rather than his own narcissism.
But there's also the triangle of Joan Baez as well.
And this is the thing, that Joan Baez is the opposite side of him, because well, especially in the film, she's almost portrayed as his almost parallel. And even though that she starts singing his tracks because like she's obsessed by his songwriting, they go on tour together and they sing together they have popular hits together. And
but she empathizes the folk scene. She sings a cappella. She plays nothing but acoustic
in bare feet.
In
a floaty skirt.
Yeah, she is Woodstock in a folky sort of style. Yeah, but he was trying to always fighting against convention, always trying to break the barriers, always trying to recreate the wheel continuously over and over again. So his continuous sort of relationship on and off with her was really down to, obviously sexual sort of, there was obviously a thing together.
A chemistry.
Massively. But there's also, I think he did truly respect her artistic, merits as well.
Well, also, she was a moment in time for him. And he was this, this ever-moving Catherine wheel, and Catherine wheels can't go back, can they? They can't. They always go in one direction, and the return to, the return to their relationship was always going to end in tears.
Oh, absolutely.
And and it's
so it's a fantastic bio that follows him over at least 2 decades. I would say. Right, and the change of costumes work really, really well because it gives you a sense of time. So you go from that beatnik Bob Dylan right through to the really slick Bob Dylan when he's all dressed in black with the dark sunglasses. No they mention the Beatles once or twice. There's no depiction of the Beatles because they obviously had quite a sort of like a weird relationship with the Beatles. Allegedly, he introduced the Beatles to drugs. That's the rumor that went around. And there's obviously. You know very well that the last scene is going to be the scene where he comes along and plays the electric guitar against the conforming of the folk scene, and you're waiting for that. You're waiting for that shout of Judas. That's what all the way through the movie. You're waiting for the Judas shout.
So I didn't know of this event.
Oh, it's a massive thing.
Yeah, so I didn't know of it, and so I wasn't waiting for him to play the guitar, electric guitar at that. I was waiting to see what he would do at that.
Yeah, it was all running up towards.
So the thing for me is when he straps on the electric guitar, I couldn't wait to see the reaction of the audience.
Yeah,
because I've never enjoyed watching an audience reaction more than this.
Yeah,
because the audience don't agree with each other.
Not at all.
It's the most weird thing.
Half the audience are clapping, half the audience are throwing things at him.
It took me 2 songs to understand
what was going on.
Because half of them were loving it and half of them were hating it.
Very clever.
And I was just like, why is everyone cheering? But they're chucking cans at him. I didn't. And then I was just like, oh, okay, I get it.
And what else isn't explained in the film? And if you're not that familiar with Dylan's background, is that it's not set up in New York. That scene was not done in reality and historically that wasn't in New York. So that's actually in Manchester.
Okay.
That exact scene was in Manchester, and they were literally climbing over the chairs trying to kill him. but the other half were applauding him and putting him onto a pedestal. So the depiction of it is exactly right, but it's actually in Manchester.
Oh, right, 'cause it's in Newport, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
and
so
they do shout out Judas.
And I found that scene absolutely mesmerising, and then. Then there's a heartfelt,
Yes.
there's a heartfelt ending, which again is still kind of quite bittersweet,
yes.
and is incredibly well done. But through the whole story, the Ed Norton character, and it's almost like you're taking two points of view the whole way through the film, and you can kind of see Ed Norton's kind of Pete Seeger at certain times taking a really kind of parental, guiding role with Dylan.
Uncle Pete, basically.
But then there's other moments when you can see him, because he's a very calm character, and he's a very soulful character, and he gives Dylan this concert, he gives him a really beautiful diatribe of. Just remember where you came from, sunshine.
Yeah, exactly.
Just remember why you're here.
Yeah,
and
they're here to see you for a reason, and you're here you're here because they love you, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And rightly so. But at the end of the day, you can't. It's Dylan.
It's Dylan. But so I kind of came away and I was thinking, God, this is so true. This film really encapsulates how I feel about celebrity, because you start off. You create something. Yeah. It's the ultimate artistry, isn't it? You create something.
And you're judged, and then.
Well, my point was to be that at the beginning of that, that's the most exciting thing in the world, to create something that people embrace. And then, if you do become top of the charts, or you've got a crowd full of people singing, and then all of a sudden that celebration becomes a burden.
It does. Do you reproduce the same thing over again, or do you reinvent yourself?
Exactly. And I watched a bit of A Star Is Born again yesterday.
Did you?
I did, and I'm not suggesting. And what it does do is it does show you that is a very poor film by comparison to the one that we saw.
Did you watch the original with Barbara Streisand?
No, I watched a good one with Gaga.
Carry on.
So podcast is now over.
Exactly. Let's go.
Well, if that's the way you feel about it, I think you should understand that movie critics is subjective.
That's 100% right.
Not always, is it, James?
You're right.
Not always, is it?
Yes.
Settle down, you red-faced little shitbag. It clashes with your ginger tops. Anyway, let's get back to Dylan then, shall we? If I'm not allowed to speak about other films.
Yes,
we may have to speed you up soon, though.
So all in all, worked.
Not speeding me up. I've been bleeding on for hours about fucking shit I haven't seen.
All in all, it worked, though, didn't it?
For me, it absolutely worked.
I would say 90% of the time, Timothy is Bob Dylan. There's about 10% where he's kind of doing an impersonation.
A little bit, yeah. Exactly
Ever so often.
But we forgive that, don't we? I mean, considering
That's his job.
It's nearly 2.5 hours long,
yeah.
And I think I agree with you. There was 2 months where I was just like, "Oh, Timothy,
trying too hard.
You've gone a bit cheesy there, sweet
he's
cheeks."
trying a little bit too hard, but
the entire cast were absolutely mesmerisingly brilliant, absolutely awesome. I thought the costumes, I thought the makeup, I thought New York.
Yeah, I know, it looked amazing.
It looked incredible.
Yeah,
I just thought they'd filmed it so amazingly,
and they didn't. What I liked about it, they didn't make it too Hickville. They kept it quite relevant still. They didn't over dramatise it. They just kept it quite real.
Yeah, you saw Better Man last week, didn't you?
No. So film references.
Did you not? I thought you did.
No. Film references. Walk the Line is a must. With Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
The Doors, obviously. Chaplin even.
Walk the Line was the same producer, wasn't it?
Yes, exactly. So tick, 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 and tick. I think. Yeah. I think it's...
Anything to add? Sorry, James, I bleated on quite a lot about that.
No, I think it's to me, if you are a fan of the likes of Rocket Man and Elvis, it's not as surreal as that, and it's not as funny as that. But I think it's more important than those two films as a depiction of a legend.
This is the best biopic I've ever seen.
Nikki.
Yes.
Got any facts for us?
Well, are you going to give me scores first, or should I do facts?
8.9.
Wow. 9.5.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was really, really
good.
Exceptional.
Good.
That makes it 9.2.
Good.
Which means, I know we don't have our scoreboard on us, but
We
it
both
means
looked.
it's near the top of our scoreboard. I reckon it's
Yeah, we
about
need to redo the
fourth
scoreboard.
place. Couple of facts. Timothy Chalamet got a $73 fine after riding a Lime rental bike to the London premiere
so
to
Dylan.
beat the traffic. And it was because he didn't park it properly and he parked it on the red carpet.
73 quid for an illegal parking?
Yeah.
Jesus, that's a lot.
Yeah. He can afford.
Oh, that's not the point, though, is it?
When Johnny Cash asked Bob
That's
if
not what
he'd
you're saying
like a
about Trump,
bugle,
is
he referenced obviously the corn-based snack food shaped like a cone, which was first introduced to the test market in 1965, and it's still sold today in 2025.
Yeah, I thought the Johnny Cash character was quite interesting in it, the way that he was like egging him on continuously. And I never realised he had that relationship with their letter writing as well.
Yeah, loads of our friends like Bugle, don't they?
I love bugles. Other not as good crisps are available.
Or the horns are available.
In the beginning of the movie, there's a sports update on the radio.
Yes.
For an NFC East score. Go team.
Yeah.
National
What's
football
NFC?
something.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, it must be.
The NFC did not actually exist until 1970.
Huh.
Wow.
Goof. That's a goof.
Oh, blimey.
Okay,
I'll put my score down to 3.2.
the original. Do you know what the original title for this film was going to be?
Zimmerman Rules. Okay.
No.
It wasn't. No. The original film title was going to be Going Electric.
Okay. I'm glad.
Good working title.
Yeah.
But not,
Complete
not,
Unknown
not
is better.
title.
Yeah. And Timothy Chalamet, Edward Norton, Monica Barbeau, and Boyd Holbrook did their own singing in the movie.
So, and it's so obvious that they have. Sometimes
And even Edward Norton as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And for his role as folk singer Peter Seeger, Edward Norton played Seeger's actual Martin 12-string acoustic guitar with its distinctive triangular sound hole. We haven't all got a distinctive triangular sound hole, but that's what Peter's thought was.
Yes.
There we go. So that's...
Always reminds me when he played that role in Glass Onion when he was playing Paul McCartney's guitar, left-handed guitar. Yeah, playing Blackbird he was. Anyway, that's another story. So,
I've lost me.
you've lost your bit of paper.
Me gone.
It's gone. Okay, cool. So we're very, very pleased. Go and watch A Complete Unknown.
Yeah, definitely go and see it.
Go and watch Complete Unknown.
Absolutely.
Definitely. That's right. And go and see Saturday night. It won't be out for a while, but go and see Saturday night. Don't go and see
was
Wolfman.
this a screen unseen?
Oh, no, it was even better than it was actually a proper preview.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh, right,
yeah,
okay.
exactly, yes.
Oh, and you haven't seen enough Timothy Chalamet? Just to kind of answer my own question from the beginning of the review. You haven't.
It's weird, isn't it?
He's epic.
He just keeps giving more and more, doesn't he?
I wish he would. He's awesome. Plays triangular hole.
Exactly. So there you have it. So that's your Wolfman, Saturday night, and Complete Unknown. What else have we got to talk about?
Oh, my
Kneecap.
homework, which you
Kneecap.
hadn't seen. So you're now setting homework.
No, but I watched as well.
Yes,
I
but
did
you
say-
haven't seen it.
I was very honest about that. I said I haven't seen this yet. I'm going to watch it because we were supposed to watch it just before Christmas together.
Yeah, and I didn't.
No.
And nor did you, to be
Our friend
fair.
Kai actually is their official photographer, and he went to see it.
You said this last week, so what does that mean? What?
He's
Kneecap's official photographer.
He's a press photographer. Yes.
Right.
Like when they have press releases and stuff.
He's photographed them.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's done
He's
it.
photographed us as well.
Well, he's photographed much more important people than Kneecap, I would suggest.
Yeah, the Popcorn Pundits.
Anyway, let's carry on.
Okay. So this is another musical film.
It is.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now, I was going to write down all of the cast and the director and the everything, but then I realised I feel like you two do when you're trying to read normal words as dyslexic. Because none of them actually make any sense to me.
Dyslexic KO.
Yes.
Whatsoever.
I know.
Absolutely no clue whatsoever.
I think the only name that we could probably pronounce is Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, and he plays the father of one of the two Kneecap boys in this film.
He does indeed.
And what's his character's name?
Yeah, Alan.
Mikael
Yeah.
Fassbender.
Yeah, the German.
Exactly what he is, you know.
Anyway, so where are we with this film? We are just post the Troubles.
That's right.
And there is so Michael Fassbender plays a character. He's a father with a wife and a son, and he is part well, he was part of the Northern Irish
He
Troubles.
was,
And he decided that the best thing that he could do was to fake his own death.
Yes.
Which no one kind of believed, but then
They went along
vanish.
with it. They went along with it.
Yeah, and then
Michael is dead. Oh yeah, Michael is dead.
Well, half people thought he was, and half people thought he weren't.
Exactly.
But he thought it was a victory that the police didn't know whether he was dead or not, and he almost kind of felt that was that he kind of felt that was like a victory in the Northern Irish thing. Anyway, so he leaves a wife. Who basically is so traumatised by his death, not death, that she never leaves the house.
Yeah.
And she's basically stuck at home with a son, and the son is he's a fucking tooting, drug taking raver, is what he is.
Yeah, that's right. He's a wide boy.
He's a proper naughty one.
However,
yes.
The reason I put my hand on my finger.
That's why I paused.
Yeah, exactly. The reason I'm doing that is because before said father left, Michael Fassbender left, he left son with an impossible task of saying, keep the Irish language alive. Only, if you can, only speak Gaelic.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
You see,
but
and that's where the Irish language thing comes in.
Okay, yeah, but I mean the general theme of the film from that point forward is the fact that there is the Northern Irish are trying to keep the Northern Irish language going.
That's right.
And
But it's actually the Gaelic. It's actually Irish, not
Irish
Northern Irish.
Gaelic,
It's not the Irish. There's no Northern Ireland in Gaelic. There's Gaelic.
Gaelic, yeah. Sorry.
Where's Irish Gaelic?
You should probably do this, James.
No, you can't. I'm intrigued to hear what direction
I
you're
don't
going.
want to upset your family or anything. It's so the story prevails that we've got these two ravers who are taking everything that they can stick in their faces.
They're basically drug dealers, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. They're drug takers and they're ravers, and yeah, and they go to a rave, and the rave gets busted by the police, and one of the boys gets caught and put in prison.
That's right.
And while he's in prison, he decides to take his father's advice right from the very beginning of the film.
Yes.
And not speak English to the police lady.
That's right. Which confuses them completely.
It doesn't confuse them. It aggravates them.
Does.
It irritates them.
It
It annoys them beyond
and you see they'd be
belief.
used to this sort of behaviour.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, so he refuses to speak English.
He does.
So they bring in an interpreter.
That's right.
Who is one of
But he's brought in by the interpreter. If you recall, is being brought in by accident because the official interpreter is the wife, and she'd been drinking, and she said, "I can't drive to the police station because I've been drinking. You're a Gaelic teacher, hence husband. You can go for me instead."
Yeah. So he begrudgingly goes in.
He does.
And during an interview, he basically decides that actually the stern middle-aged policewoman,
The Garda,
is a bit of a dick.
yes.
And actually the boy that's in front of him is nothing more than a good boy that is basically standing up for his legal rights to speak his mother tongue.
Exactly.
At which point the
He starts translating things in the wrong way.
Yeah, so basically he's translating, and basically he's actually putting words into the kid's mouth to try and get him out of trouble. And then
the kid clocks on.
A notebook is produced, and in this notebook, the policewoman is trying to ask what certain things mean, and again, the translation isn't being done properly. Blah 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 blah. The notebook is given to the teacher. As he's flicking through it, he notices that there's an entire page of acid tabs in there. He basically makes a statement to the policewoman, which means that the boy has to be released.
That's right.
And he
Saves the day.
He sneakily sneaks the notebook into his own inside pocket.
He does.
And they all leave. So the teacher's got this notebook, and he's reading through it at a later date, sees that the boy has been writing.
Gets rid of the tabs of acid in the bin.
Yeah, he does. He's been writing Gaelic poetry.
That's right.
Which is basically proper street poetry.
Oh yeah.
But in the native tongue.
That's correct.
So in the meantime, said boy, whose name I can't pronounce,
Doesn't matter.
starts dating a girl.
That's right.
And they have, and she's a Protestant.
Yes.
Which is fucking brilliant because they're having sex and they're basically having the North-South divide argument.
That's right.
Just pre-ejaculation. It's fucking hysterical.
They're kind of turning each other on by winding each other up about their religious endeavours.
Northern Ireland, the north of Ireland.
Exactly.
Northern Ireland,
exactly.
the north of Ireland.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
And it was I really enjoyed that scene.
That's very clever.
That was very funny. This school teacher also happens to be a music producer, music teacher, And
You're a DJ.
yeah, so he kind of thinks that it might be a good idea to put these words down with a beat behind.
That's right.
And turn it into drop it as a hip hop track.
Yes.
And he somehow manages to convince the boys to come and record it. And they do, and it's
Take loads of drugs.
yeah. They have a night of recording it, which is it's just.
I have to
it's
say,
just priceless.
I have to say that scene to me is something that Guy Ritchie would have been proud of.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's
And
very
also
lock-stocky, very.
Yeah. And oh shit, what's the film with Ewan McGregor in it? You know,
Trainspotting.
Trainspotting.
That's right.
I mean,
It's
the
very-
whole film is very, very
It
Trainspotting.
is very much so.
And anyway, so by hook or by crook, this song, the boy with the girlfriend is trying to impress the girlfriend.
That's right.
And she says, "Tell me something I don't know about you." And he
Yeah.
says, "I'm in a hip hop band."
And she went-
and we're performing live.
She goes, "Go fuck yourself."
Go fuck yourself, yeah. And anyway, so they have to kind of put on a performance, and they do, and it kind of gets recorded, and then all of a sudden they notice people listening to their music round about them, their general surroundings and everything. And then this...
I mean, it's not a complicated story at the end of the
It's
day.
a very,
is it?
very basic story. But then they become more and more popular,
Of course they do.
and it's made more and more complicated because the teacher wants to be the
Hasn't told
DJ
you.
on stage, hasn't told anyone
Yes.
that he's doing this, and he knows that it would be very, very frowned upon. And his wife is becoming the minister for trying to keep the Irish language current in the...
but the legal
North
side of
Irish.
things,
Yeah,
rather than
exactly right. Like the very, very straight and narrow
That's
way.
right.
So he decides that he's going to perform in an Irish flag balaclava.
which doesn't say which is not portraying anything at all
It's
in the troubled times.
No,
exactly.
not at all. No,
absolutely. That's a really strong message.
Yeah, it is. And anyway, so we have all of these different little relationship interminglements,
Yeah.
and I really liked it.
It's quite funny because you're wearing green and I'm wearing orange.
Yeah, that's very funny.
Yeah,
He's on about the flag.
Yeah, no, and I've got
Yeah.
my white shoe in the middle.
that's right. Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It's like the flag.
For all of you
Well, you're right.
Black and
Yeah,
white.
I'm really pleased you like it because I enjoyed it also, and you're right. I think the film references are very valid. I think you've got a bit of train spotting there. You've got every single Guy Ritchie movie there. You've got any movie that's got like the hip hop in it. It's even Shaun of the Dead, that sort of thing. The humour in it is slapstick. It's done very, very well. And I have to say, as not as seasoned actors, Michael Fassbender obviously brings up the acting from another side, so to speak. But I thought they did really, really well.
So tell me,
As
I don't. Is it?
Yes, it is.
It's a true story.
It's a young hip hop Irish group.
Yeah. And that's the group.
That's
the people who are playing them are them,
exactly.
and that's it.
Yeah, and they're from the Glastonbury and so on and so forth.
Right, they're pretty good.
Very good. Now, I noticed, because I listened to a lot of French rap with my wife.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? Because that's the sort of thing I do. Nicky 3D, that sort of thing. Anyway, so I felt that the Irish language, the Gaelic rap, although you could make any sense out of it at all, it really had that ramifications with French rap. Because I had that old school 1980s, the 808 came in. I thought that was quite clever. They brought the 808, a bit of machinery in there as well. So I had that classic hip hop thing going on there as well. So to me, I think it's really good depiction of the story. I think it came across really, really well. I think the use of subtitles, which is sporadic, because sometimes they'd sing a song and there'd be no subtitles. They had no idea what they're singing.
absolutely.
And other times they just laid it out for you nice and thick for you as well.
I like it when you flow in and out of subtitles and you don't really notice.
Yes.
It's good.
No, I think it came across really, really well. I was really, really pleased with the film.
Yeah, me too. I loved it.
It was like a happy accident almost.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you got me to revisit it after not bothering before Christmas.
Yeah,
I actually
absolutely.
recommended it to my son to watch. I thought it'd be a really good film for him.
It's almost got that sort of that Four Lions as well.
That's it. Terrorism. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
It is.
you know what I mean. From the humour side, the way that it's not a Hollywood film, is it? It does have that very sort of. It's not a British movie, but it's got that very sort of.
Oh, you're being all political.
Oh,
I don't
just-
understand what you're talking about.
Yes, indeed.
Just love everyone.
Can I have some facts, please?
Do you want scores first or facts?
Or scores? I'm giving it a 7.8.
I'm giving it an 8.
Wow.
Good.
7.6 on IMDb.
Cool.
They're wrong.
They're wrong. Hang on, let me do my quick maths. Peter's normally quicker than me.
7.9 is
It's
it?
7.9.
Yeah.
It's like not even. It's not even quite maths.
7.9.
There you go.
Okay, so the band refused to have the rights to the film sold in Israel, as they are vocal supporters of Palestinian liberation.
Interesting. I can get the impression they're quite political.
It's the first Irish language film to premiere at the Sundance Film Festival.
Right.
It is the official submission of Ireland
Right.
for Best International Feature Film category for the 97th Academy Awards.
Right.
And it features a brief cameo from the actual Jerry Adams, who was the former Sinn Féin president. The band asked him, assuming he would say no, but he agreed, though he changed the word fucking to flipping.
Right.
And apparently the actors thought he'd have a problem with the drugs, but it was just with the profanity.
So I thought that was a snippet of him. I didn't realise that was him.
Yeah, that was actually him.
live. Yeah, okay.
And it's already had 19 wins and 45 nominations. And it has been
that's a lot.
nominated. It is a lot. And it's been nominated for 6 BAFTAs, which will take place on the 16th of
I have to say-
2025.
Oh, because it's only a 2024 movie, isn't it?
Yeah,
it only
exactly,
came out
yeah.
last
yeah,
year.
so it will be 16th of Feb.
I think it was a
BAFTAs.
bright. It was a breath of fresh air. It was quite sort of.
Yeah.
It cut through all the fat, didn't it?
What day of the week would you watch it on?
Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's quite. It
So
it
after
wants to
listening
be
to this-
Friday night.
It wants to, but it's not.
Do you not think so?
Yeah, it desperately wants to be a Friday night one, but it's not.
Well, I mean, if you had a massive bag of drugs and a like a big bottle of vodka, it would be.
If you were listening just for the music, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, or
Or
Saturday.
Saturday. Good.
Or early hours of Sunday.
Have we had any reviews in? I've been chasing some people for reviews.
We have not.
Oh.
However, Mama
Yeah.
Smart and I went to see Conclave 2
Ah.
days ago on Tuesday.
you went straight to look at the board then. Oh no, it's creeping up.
Fucking shit, fuck! Keep it off the board. Rubbish.
So Nikki,
Yes.
don't look at Peter when
I
you
won't,
when you're
don't
telling us
worry.
your point of view. Would you like to let us know what you and Mama Smart thought of Conclave?
So before I say what I thought of it,
Yes.
I would like to say I went to see it at something called Northern Farm, which is the local community and arts centre in Maidenhead.
Bigging up to Northern Farm.
So if you don't go to the cinema, I know we normally encourage people to go to cinema. Make sure you go to your local arts
centre.
centre and support them, especially if you're Maidenhead way.
Good
Support
shout
Northern
out. I
Farm
like that.
because they have some really good comedians there. They have obviously great activities you can do, and they show some great films.
do.
So Northern Farm is actually used by some of the biggest comedians on the circuit.
Well, I've seen
Yeah.
Jimmy Carr there.
Okay, you finish my sentence.
Yeah, I've seen Jimmy Carr there. Carry
They
on.
use it as a warm-up spot.
They do, and they actually use it for a lot of their
Test
material
material.
before their. And if Maidenhead don't like it, it does not get put into their tours.
When I used to live in Windsor, there is the fire station up the road from Windsor, and that's also a live spot for the Windsor comedians to do that. So you get the likes of Lenny Henry goes there, and he's relaunching his career, and they go on and they test
Did he?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Sorry, Lenny. Right. So you've already bigged up Northern Farm.
Yeah.
We've set the stage.
You're presuming she's about to big up
No,
Conclave.
I'm not. I'm waiting.
Just temper your powder.
Would you like to let us know what you thought about it? Good or bad?
So actor-wise, it has a lot of actors that I love.
Yes.
Obviously, Mr. Fines,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Lithgow,
Yep.
Mr. Tucci Wucci.
Yep.
And obviously, I love them, and I feel like they can do no wrong. And I watched Conclave.
Yeah.
And I agree they can do no wrong. I really enjoyed it. It was a little bit too long for me.
Okay.
It got into about an hour and 45 and I did think, is this ever going to end?
Not
But
another vote.
I did enjoy, because obviously I'd gone into it not knowing what happens when a pope dies.
Yeah.
So I kind of tried to go to it, and actually I found it really informative. And Mama Smart and I both gave it an 8.
Nice. Is that 2 8s?
That's 2 8s.
Makes a difference, is it?
Yeah.
Another 8 on top of that.
That's 2 8s.
So what does that make the final score
I
then, do you
can't
know?
remember what we gave you
Okay, well, I'm sure.
originally, but we'll sort
because you've got
it
the
for
laptop
next
is
week.
exactly.
Yes, my laptop has died a death, so
Right.
I'm trying to use this.
We will give an updated
fruit-based
score
product.
next week on
All
Conclave.
the actors that can do no wrong, but she was bored in 1 hour 40.
Do not be dissing my Voldemort, please.
Yes, exactly. Do you have anything else to discuss?
I'm just trying to see what the Rotten Tomatoes score is
Oh,
for
okay.
Kneecap, and I can't find it. I was gonna. Oh, it's currently at 96%.
Yeah, 96%.
It's not a bad score. Not a bad score.
Are you going to see Screen Unseen this week?
Next week.
Next week.
That's right. Scream Unseen on Monday night. I have no idea what the film is.
You're going to see Scream, not Screen.
Probably. I can't remember which one.
No,
I know
it's Scream with an M.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to give you the clues for Screen Unseen,
Oh,
but obviously
okay.
you're not going to see it. So,
Okay.
how can people get in touch with us?
Oh, hang on a minute. Don't we have to give Peter some homework?
Oh yeah, forgot about Peter.
Has my homework changed during the course of this
It
podcast?
has indeed.
This is a
Oh,
very
no.
long podcast.
Isn't it? Yes. So it was initially going to be an Irish movie, but now it's not. I'm going to give you that later.
Okay.
I cannot believe you've never seen Cabin in the Woods. Okay. Cabin in the
What's
Woods.
it about?
It's about Cabin in the Woods. and
Which woods?
The Woods.
I would.
It. You might do afterwards. It is groundbreaking. It is a groundbreaking film. I cannot believe you've seen this. It's absolutely. I'm really telling you. I'm giving this a 9.
Oof.
Okay.
Wow, no pressure.
Okay. What you have to do though is
You get Conclave a 9.
you have to watch the film from start to finish, okay? Because things happen in the film that if you break it up, it's not going to have the same effect,
Okay.
okay? So watch it. You'd be surprised by who's in this.
Okay.
So yes, where could we stream this from?
It's currently available on the Sky Store. I always want to say Score. Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon Prime. If you have a subscription, it's free, and it's currently on Netflix at the moment as well.
Perfect. See, honestly, you'll love
okay.
it. You'll love it.
Thank you very much.
It's a very, very clever horror
I
movie.
appreciate that.
Very clever indeed. Good. So there you have it.
Thank God it's not another Irish film. Ugh.
Oh,
Ugh,
God.
these Irish
I
Gaelic,
know.
they're worse than the Scottish Gaelic.
Looking at jet banjos. Should we pass
I'm
out?
just like that. I got cancelled.
No, we shouldn't, because you haven't told people where they can find us.
Peter, how would people get in contact with you? You haven't spoken all night.
Oh, how they contact us? They can contact us on the comments bit under our video on YouTube.
Yes.
They can contact us via Facebook. We have a Instagram which you can DM.
Yes.
You can WhatsApp us.
Yeah.
You can click the button on the platform that you stream our podcast from, where it says message.
Yes.
Send us a text.
Yep.
Please let us know who you are, because
Yeah.
it doesn't tell you who.
It doesn't, does
tell
it?
us who you are.
Yeah.
And those are the best ways of getting in contact.
There are the- now-
if you'd like to leave us a voice note,
Yes.
we love a voice note
And how would they do
so
that?
much. Well, you just record it and
On-
send
on
it on
se-
WhatsApp.
Yeah,
On
exactly.
anything. It doesn't have to be on WhatsApp. You can Instagram us a voice note.
Okay.
Can you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I send loads of voice notes on Instagram.
Do people at the other end want the voice notes?
They don't have a choice.
Wow. There we go.
There you go. Thank you very much,
And that's
Peter.
all I've got to say about that.
Okay. So, big shout out to Helen, my fellow yogi and friend of yours, as a new Popcorn Pundit listener and watcher.
Awesome.
Hi,
Helen.
So, if Helen would like to send us a review of what she's seen so far this week, please get in contact with us. That'd be super duper. She can remind us while we're down with dogging together next week.
Beautiful.
There you go.
I'm going to give a shout out to a guy called Marcus, who's a new subscriber of ours
Big it up to Marcus.
that I met in a yacht
Oh, yes.
in Dubai Marina.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hi, Marcus.
Yeah.
Right. Should we say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Come on.
Ba 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 ba. I fucked that. Can I start that again?
Go on.
No.
Pa 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 pa.
Popcorn Pundits, week 65.
Is it?
Week
60.
65.
Did we say that at the
I said
beginning?
that at the start.
Thank
yeah.
God you did. I didn't have a...
60 is 5 us.
Bye.
Over to you.